Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to change a Snapcase watch battery. I will go through step by step and then at the end I'll show a video of myself doing all the steps put together. So before getting started, you're going to need some materials. You'll need a replacement battery, which varies from watch to watch, but the most common one is a 377, which is pictured on the bottom left. A watch back press tool, the blue tool that is pictured on the far right. Cup nylon dies, which is the white piece on the bottom of the watch back press tool, and flat nylon dies, which is the white piece on the top part of the watch back press tool. And you'll need a set of small flathead screwdrivers, pictured on the top left, a magnifying glass, which is optional, a soft cleaning cloth, which is also optional, and it's good to have a well-lit workspace. Now, if the watch is dirty, now is a good time to clean it before you start working on it. And it's a good idea to have a nice cleared workspace in case you drop anything that you don't want to lose. Now, the first real step is to look for the ridge or lip of the watch back. This is where you can use the flatheads to pry the back off. Sometimes there's a little arrow on the back of the watch that is pointing to the lip, and that will help you find it. Here, it can be to your advantage to use a slightly bigger or thicker flathead to wedge between the lip and the back to kind of lift the back up, which makes it easier to pry off. So you're going to want to try to do this without scratching the metal, which sometimes does happen, but obviously it's better not to. And then you're going to take the battery out without damaging any internal parts. It's usually a good rule of thumb to touch as little as possible on the inside of the watch as to not damage anything in the process, because there's a lot of little fragile stuff in there. So then you're going to read the number on the back of the battery. This is where it might be helpful to have a well-lit area and a magnifying glass. The most common example of a battery is 377. They're in a lot of watches. So then you're going to get the new battery, and if you can't find the battery, it might be cross-referenced with a different number. So as you can see in the picture, there's the 377, and then below it in the yellow circle it says SR626SW, and those are just different ways of saying the same battery. So if you have a battery that you can't find, you can just look up a cross-referencing chart online, or it might say on the package like this one. So then you're going to put the new battery in and make sure it's secure, and then you're going to start to put it back together. So then you're just going to put the back on the watch again, and you're going to make sure it's lined up correctly. Because sometimes there's a specific way it has to go on if there's a carved out spot for the pin. If there is a carved out spot for the pin, make sure it goes right on top of the pin. And if there isn't a carved out spot, then it doesn't really matter how it goes back on. So then you're going to press the watch back and the rest of the watch together with your fingers, and you'll hear a very obvious click and you'll feel it click together. But if you don't hear or feel that, then you might need to use the watch back press tool. So when using the watch back press tool, you need to get the correctly sized flat and cupped nylon dies. The nylon dies are the circled white pieces in the picture. The flat one goes on top and the cupped one goes on the bottom, because the bottom one has the face of the watch sitting in it, and then the top one pushes against the back of the watch. You can tell if they're the correct size by seeing if the cup dies ridges fits against the metal rim of the watch face, and you want to make sure it's big enough to fit the face but small enough to not damage the pin inside or on the side. The flat dies should be as big as the watch back. So then you're going to put the dies on the press, and the flat one, like I said, goes on top and the cupped one goes on the bottom. And these pieces ensure that the face of the watch won't crack and the back of the watch won't get dented or damaged. So next you're going to place the watch in the cup die face down, and then you're going to press the handle on the watch back press tool, and when you hear the click and you feel the click, then you know it's on again. So then you're going to make sure the watch is ticking. Sometimes it still isn't ticking, and that means that it wasn't the battery that was the problem, but it's the actual watch. And then once it's ticking and everything's fine, then you can use the pin to change the time. And now I'm going to show the video of myself doing it.